If you are like most investors, you have some concern about a stock market crash happening. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to defend yourself against that concern and really give you a sense of how often crashes actually happen. Stock market crashes are traumatic and memorable, but they actually don't happen that often. They're pretty rare. And if you worry about them, that can keep you out of the market and participating in the long-term gains that the stock market provides. There are some simple tactics to avoid most of the crash. Let's take a look at what I mean. This is a monthly chart going back to 1999, and I want to highlight some of the big crashes on this chart. There was the crash around tariffs. There was the increasing interest rate move down. This is the COVID crash. At the time, it felt massive. It was 2 months long. And of course, then you had the financial crisis. And if we go back way over here, there was the crash after the tech bubble burst. Well, I want you to notice one thing about this chart. Every time there was a crash, the market went below its 10-period moving average on the monthly chart. So you can see here, we dipped below the 10-period moving average and it went down for a while. We went below here and it went down for a month. Below here, rebounded right away. So if you want to protect yourself against a crash, simply resolve to sell whatever you hold if the market moves below its 10-period moving average, simple moving average, on the monthly chart. Now, with that said, what you'll also notice is that every time we had one of these periods of weakness, this one was a year long, we ultimately made it all back. We had a little period here, 3 or 4 months of weakness, we made it back. 2 months of weakness, we made it back, and much more. So do you really need to worry a whole lot about crashes if you are a long-term investor? Not really, because the market tends to come back. With that said, we never know when the big one might happen that doesn't come back right away. And so for that reason, if you want to protect yourself, hold the market as long as you're above the moving average. When you dip below the 10-period moving average, get out of stocks. Here you'd be out of stocks for the better part of a year. And then it crosses back above again, and you're back in the market. Crosses below, okay, you're out of the market for 2 months. Come back into the market and enjoy the next leg up. If you apply this simple concept, it'll give you a peace of mind so that you can enjoy the fruits of the market and sleep easily knowing that if there is going to be a crash, you're not going to get out near the top, but you're going to avoid the bulk of the weakness. Although, again, if you're a long-term investor, riding out these crashes and looking at them as buying opportunities is a good approach. Because when the market has a heavy sell-off, it's usually a great buying opportunity. All right, let's get into this week's normal market analysis and we'll figure out if there's some risk in the market and where there's opportunity. Let's jump into the Stockscores website. And just a reminder, we have a free weekly membership to my newsletter. And you can also look up charts, build watch lists on the Stockscores.com website. Just click on this link right here on the homepage. What I want to begin with is taking a look at the S&P 500. Here's SPY. And you'll notice that in the daily time frame, we have been in this sort of sideways building pattern here. It's called a pennant pattern. So we have a move up, then we go through this process of compressing volatility, and we're starting to break to the upside from that. So it's neutral in the short term because we've been going sideways, but the long-term trend is still up, so it's bullish. Our sentiment stock scores are very good, so the market is a decent hold and looks to me like it wants to start to go up again. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ 100, QQQ. Very similar pattern, but with a little more volatility. The swings up and down are greater, but again, this is a pennant pattern, and if we break out of the pointy tip of the pennant, we should continue to the upside. Moving along to the Russell small cap market, and you can see that it has actually been doing better than the large caps. The bottoms are rising. That means there's optimism in the market. We do have a situation where the tops are not rising as quickly as the bottoms. That's called a rising wedge pattern. And if we break down from that pattern, that is a negative. But that hasn't happened yet. We're still in an upward trend, and so it remains a bullish market. Moving along, Canadian market, T.XIU for the TSX 60. In an upward trend, going to new highs. This is bullish on both the short term and the long term time frames. You'll notice the sentiment stock score has been below or above 60 from this point forward, and that's when the market has done well. Here it was below 60, and the market was soft. So use that as a way to help yourself with the state of the stock that you're interested in or the overall market. Let's take a look at gold. GLD, its stock scores are pretty weak. Why? Well, we went parabolic. We broke the parabolic trend. We built a falling top. We broke the upward trend line from a falling top, and that led to the sell-off in the gold market. The downward trend is still intact, and so until we can break this to the upside, it is a bearish market in the short term. Now, the long-term chart, if I jump to the 3-year, we are coming back to the long-term linear upward trend line. I didn't draw that perfectly, but it's about in this area here where we should see the market reverse. It just hasn't happened yet, but it is getting to the point where buyers are going to start to step in and pick up bargains in the gold mining sector. How about oil? USO is the symbol, and you can see that obviously the war with Iran led to high oil prices, and we've been moving lower since. We get little blips to the upside every time there's a little escalation in violence, but the market is still pulling back in the short term. If we go to a 1-month chart here, you'll see that downward trend, but in the 3-year long-term time frame, we've retraced about half of the gain. So you go up, you pull back half, usually that's a point where you can get a bounce. We tried to have a little bounce in oil prices last week. It didn't really stick, but I'm not yet going to lower my long-term rating to bearish because I do think there is some potential for a little bounce back in oil here. All right, finally, let's take a look at the currencies. UUP is the symbol for the US dollar, and you'll see that the US dollar is in an upward trend on the daily time frame. On the 3-year weekly time frame, we are trending upward too, but we're coming into a fair bit of resistance, and so that limits the upside. GBTC is the symbol for Bitcoin, one of the ETFs on Bitcoin, and it is in a downward trend. It is starting to stabilize in the short term. You can see there it's basing a little bit, but I think it's still something best avoided. Last but not least, TLT is the symbol for the bond market, and we had been looking like we were trying to make a little run to the upside here for a couple of weeks or a few weeks, but we just couldn't break that downward cycle of falling tops. If we go to the 1-month chart, you will see we started to sell off right in here, and that led to that downward move. And so that implies that the market still thinks interest rates are going to remain elevated. And if we break down through this floor, then interest rates start to get even higher. So be cautious with bonds, and that has an effect on those small cap stocks, and I think why the small cap stocks have slowed down a little bit lately. So my ratings then, neutral in the short term for US large cap and NASDAQ, but they're on the edge of breaking out, so they could become bullish in the short term as well. Small caps and Canadian stocks bullish on both time frames. Gold and oil both short-term bearish, long-term neutral. US dollar bullish on both time frames. Bitcoin bearish. Bonds bearish in the short term. That's a downgrade this week. And long-term neutral. All right, now let's take a look at the trade of the week. I run a service every day called Active Live where we day trade and swing trade the stock market in the daily action of the market. And one of the stocks that we traded this past week was SUNE on Friday. We always look for stocks that come alive with abnormal activity. So I've created an indicator to do that. It's called an action candle. And these little orange dots here are action candles. Now, the ones I'm most interested in are the ones that break from predictive patterns. So this pattern here is called a cup and handle. There's a cup, there's a handle, there's an action candle breaking. You've got rising bottoms, which mean that the buyers are in control. There's optimism building. And so the entry point is at the white line, $2.95. And then we went into a nice upward trend, go parabolic. When trends go parabolic and break the parabolic trend, that's a good sell signal. And so we ultimately see a 5 or 6 RR gain, reward for risk gain. That means for every $100 risked, you have a $500 to $600 profit on this trade. And it's all using the methods that I teach. You can learn more about that at Stockscores.com. If you've enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you found the question about stock market crashes interesting, let me know. What do you think? Are we going to get a stock market crash soon? Many people think so. I just don't see evidence in the market just yet. Let me know your thoughts. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and as always, trade well.